Hello students, today we're going to simplify expressions. To get started, we're going to look at a definition. This definition is like terms. The definition for like terms is terms whose variables and exponents are the same. In other words, terms that are like each other. Keyword being like. So I want you to let's look at what some like terms look like. If I have 2x, the variable is x, it doesn't have an exponent, and if I want another like term with it, I'd have to say like 5x or negative 5x. It has the same variable. I could also say like 3y squared and negative 8y squared. That variables have to be the same along with the exponents. Alright, so I'd like you to take a moment and see if you can list some other terms that are like terms, and then also list some other terms that are not like terms. Right, by simplifying expressions, what we're going to do in this lesson to simplify is we're going to actually combine like terms. You can simplify an expression by adding or subtracting the like terms. And I've got an example up here. Let's go ahead and work. We want to find the like terms. So remember, they have to have the same variable with exponent. So that 8m and 12m have the same variable. We can also say like terms don't have a variable. Like 4 and minus 1, those are like terms because they don't have a variable. Alright, so let's go ahead and simplify this. I'm going to put my like terms together. So 8m plus 12m, because the 12m has got a plus in front of it, that's going to be 20m. And then my 4, my minus 1, 4 minus 1 is plus 3. Or I could rewrite this as 3 plus 20m if I had it in the other order. Okay? Alright, let's look at something else. We're going to look at something called the distributive property because we're going to use this to simplify some expressions. If you remember back from middle school, the distributive property is used to multiply a term, right, by a sum or difference. Here's our term that we're going to multiply by this sum. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this 4 by each of the terms inside the parentheses. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 3n and get 12n, and then I'm going to multiply 4 times 2 and get 8. Now 4 times 2 is positive 8, so I'm going to put a plus there. So all I've done is simplify this by getting rid of the parentheses. So let's use this distributive property to help us to simplify expressions. If I'll notice, I have the 2 on the outside of the parenthesis. So according to my order of operations, before I do this addition, I have to do this multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 5m and 2 times the minus 1. So 2 times 5m is 10m. 2 times the minus 1 is minus 2. 2 times minus 1 would be negative 2. Now I also got to bring down this 4 and the plus in front of it now. So I've gotten rid of the parentheses using distributive property. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. What are my like terms? Would be the 4 and the minus 2 because they don't have variables. There's nothing to go with the 10m, so it's just going to be by itself. So what's 4 plus negative 2, or 4 minus 2, is 2, and then I'll bring down my plus 10m. You could write it as 10m plus 2 if you work that order. Okay, so now let's look at another one. Notice I have subtraction, I have subtraction, I have subtraction, I have addition, but I also have multiplication with that 3 next to the parenthesis. So let's do that first. So I'm going to distribute the negative 3, the minus 3, into the parenthesis. So negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. going to bring everything else down. I'm going to bring my 10 down, my minus 8y down, and my plus 6x. Now I'm going to go re-identify my like terms. I have a 10 and a 3. Those are like terms because they don't have a variable. I have my minus 6x and my plus 6x. Those go together. And then I have this minus 8y. It doesn't have anything that goes with it. So we'll just keep it by itself. So now 10 plus 3 is 13. Minus 6x plus 6x, those make 0. 0x or 0. And then I've got my minus 8y. Now I don't need the 0x. 0 times anything is just 0. So I'll just write it as 13 minus 8y. Okay, one more last example on combining like terms, and then we're going to do one more thing and we'll be finished. Notice I've got subtraction, but I've also got this subtraction in front of this parenthesis. You have to remember back from middle school math, when I have a parenthesis, I can always put a 1 out in front of it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute this negative 1. That minus makes it a negative 1. So negative 1 times 2x would be negative 2x, or minus 2x. Negative 1 times 3 would be minus 3. And then I'll just bring down my 8, and I'll bring down my minus 7x. You take a moment to finish this one. Pause the video, start it back up when you get it done. Okay, so there's the answer, 5 minus 9x, or 9x minus 5. Hopefully you got that right. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to evaluate an expression. To evaluate an expression, I'm going to run out of room here. You replace each variable with a given value, and then we want to simplify. So if you look at the example, we want to evaluate this 6x plus 9y minus 2, given that x is 3 and given that y equals negative 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put this 3 in for x and this minus 5 or negative 5 in for y. And then after I get this done, I'll simplify if possible. So I'm going to do 6 times 3 plus 9 times negative 5 minus 2. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 9 times negative 5 is negative 45, and then minus 2. And then if I do the math on that, I get 18 minus 45 minus 2. So 18 minus 2 is 16. I'm going to put these together first. 16 minus 45, and then the 16 minus 45 is negative 29. Go ahead and make sure you get that whisk completed and turned in, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.